Hey y'all, how's it going? Welcome back. It's Mia, and today I'm here to discuss my spoiler-free review for Disenchanted, the sequel to 2007's Enchanted. Now, when this movie was first announced, I thought this was the movie that no one asked for. I feel that way about a lot of projects these days, but mostly because Enchanted was one of those movies when it came out, I absolutely loved it. And I've seen it a countless number of times. If you guys didn't know, you've been watching the channel of a Disney adult. I'm sorry if I fooled you or if you thought it was any different, but no. Do you know I have a little statue of the partner statue that is right kind of like in the center of Disneyland? Can you see that in the mirror? Okay, so that shows you how serious I am when it comes to Disney. And not only Disney, but Disney princesses, okay? Look at how I am dressed. Let's get into this, because I absolutely loved it. Now, basically the whole premise of this is what happens after Happily Ever After, right? Giselle and Robert, Amy Adams and Patrick Dempsey, they got married. And, it's all supposed to be good and well, but there's always more story to tell when you've got money to make. But what ended up happening was this, really fun story. So essentially, in a nutshell, what happens is Giselle moves out of New York City with her family. She's not really feeling the magic anymore. So she gets the gift of a magic wand, and she's like, okay, well, what happens if I can just wish that everything was like back at home in my kingdom and fairy tale magic basically. And it's funny because I was like, this is basically Disney Adult the movie. Like, what if I could just take a magic wand? Yes, I have a magic wand. It's Harry Potter branded. Don't sue me. And just swish and flick and just make everything more magical, just like it is back at the parks. And so, no, seriously though, as I was watching this, I was like, well, how can you make sort of a story or a cautionary tale out of wanting everything to be happy and magical? And they actually found a way. So I was very pleasantly surprised by that. My only downfall is that because this is a kids movie and a family movie, I think they could have maybe chopped like 20 to 30 minutes off, especially in the beginning where they're just really setting everything up. And it's just not as fun as what happens when you really dive into the crux of the story. Then another thing too, if I'm picking things apart, is number one, it kind of almost felt like the plot kind of was zigging and zagging, mostly because now they've also incorporated Morgan, the daughter from the original movie, and she's grown up. And it's kind of like Top Gun rules, because based on the time span, she shouldn't really be as young as she is, but we're just gonna pretend that she's that young anyway, or maybe she got Thanos snapped. I don't know, but anyway, she's sort of a protagonist in this too, so they kind of have to split that story. It's kind of like my problem with Black Panther when you have too many characters and you're trying to tell like 6 different stories. So that's that, but it didn't detract from too much. And then my other problem, one thing that took me out of this was when they got to, of course, we got to have an animation scene. And it just felt like for Disney, the animation scene was just kind of subpar. Now I know, I don't know, maybe Bob Chapek, before he left, he didn't give them enough money to work on the animation. So again, I don't know how this works, but it didn't really feel like that magical Disney hand-drawn, that Walt pioneered. It just kind of felt a little uncanny, even maybe a little more low budget than the 2007 movie, which is kind of crazy because you think after almost 15 or so years we would have progressed, but I don't know. Anyway, I've lost my princessly composure. Let us get back to the fun part of the review that I love. No, seriously though, this has a lot of fun Disney references. Again, if you're a Disney fan, I think you're really gonna love this, especially Disney princesses. I think I pretty much picked apart references for every Disney princess except for Jasmine, which is kind of sus. But I picked out a lot of references, Snow White, Cinderella, Little Mermaid, Rapunzel, and then even some of the princes as well. So you'll see that a lot in the costumes that they wear, which I loved. You'll see that a lot even from their hairstyles, the set, the song lyrics that they sing. So that was very fun. Sometimes they hit you a little too over the head. Like, they're supposed to pay homage to those fairy tale books and sort of point out how silly it is. But then when they point out how silly it is, it's kind of like, yeah, we get it. This is the whole point of the movie. You didn't have to tell me how silly it is. But another thing that I did like, as I was talking about kind of paying homage to these Disney movies is that they do mix in sort of old stuff as well as the live action adaptations. And actually, I believe there is a teaser. Breaking news, there is a teaser for the first Snow White look in the live action movie, because they have this beautiful shot where I immediately recognized it. I was like, oh, that's like supposed to be like Belle's costume. Oh, but that also looks like the Emma Watson costume that she wore in the live action movie. And then you turn to the right and you see what looks like an original Snow White dress. And then to the left is a dress we've never seen before. And there's a little apple in the front and there's a little rose next to Belle. And so I'm like, they're teasing the new Snow White live action, which will be starring Rachel Zegler. It's coming out in 2024, so I guess I'm looking forward to that. This is Disney Hour, I guess. So anyway, the songs, let's talk about the songs. I'm really glad that they let Idina Menzel sing in this movie, because I think they forgot this one song, which is kind of the tentpole song. I don't necessarily think, as far as theatrics or anything goes, it will be That's How You Know. But I think that because they've got Idina singing in this movie, that was an awesome decision. And it turns out to be an awesome song just because she's just this powerful vocalist. When Idina Menzel sings, oh my gosh. And that's me channeling Idina. But anyway, there's another song as well that Amy Adams and Maya Rudolph sing. They kind of duel off. I believe it's called Batter. So that was kind of fun as well. And yeah, maybe one of these songs will be nominated for an Oscar. So I think they will. I think if they nominate, it should be Evermore Enchanted. I think that one would be a strong contender. So I'm so giddy to be talking about this movie, which is really strange. Maybe that's the magic of Disney. But actors in this, really great cast. Amy Adams was fantastic as always, and she gets to do a couple more things in this role that she didn't do, as well as Patrick Dempsey. He gets to have a little bit of fun in this role, maybe not the same way that he had in the last, or same kind of role that he has, but all the same, things are magical, things are fun. James Marsden, by the way, never misses. He's an actual Disney prince. How cool is that? And like I said, Idina Menzel, she's always fantastic. And Maya Rudolph is a fun addition to the cast too. So I have to say it was a great cast. Loved everybody in it. And yeah, so what a fun movie this was. It had a lot of kind of emotional parts that I was like, please don't tear up. That's just kind of my personality anyway. And still, I don't think it can compare to the first movie just because of how original that idea was. Like, what happens if you take a goofy fairy tale princess from the 2D world and bring her into the 3D world in this harsh reality that is New York City? Even I couldn't survive New York City. So, it's it's a powerful story. This one, not so much, but it was still fun to watch, especially around this time, like the holiday season. So I was going to give it a B, but I think for how much I enjoyed it, I'll give it a B+. I feel like A is super duper strong. A B+ is like, this is a pretty darn good movie. So let me know if you all have any thoughts about this movie. If you want to talk about spoilers in the comments, go ahead. The comments are open for spoilers. Please leave a like if you enjoyed this wonderful Disney discussion, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.